My video for April the 6th, 2019 is video number 3047. The title is Aquarian Age Put in Charge with the Last Trump. Talk about an enigmatic title. Yes, Putin and Trump are both playing roles. I shut off a video yesterday by a pundit who said Russia is the enemy. Like all of us, he has a right to his perspective, but I do not see Russia as our enemy. That is a really shallow perspective as I see it. Our enemy is comprised of very dark forces that are beyond human personality and nationality. Call them Dracos, fallen angels, or whatever, but we are not dealing with human entities. We humans are an alternative creation that was made in response to 1/3 of the angels that rebelled against the Creator God. At least that's how I see it. Is my perception true or not? I don't know anymore. I thought I did for a long time, but events are not playing out at all the way I thought they would. Yes, if you've been listening to me over time, you would know that. These are issues I've been dealing or wrestling with a lot, especially in the past couple years. I see Vladimir Putin as a hero. Perhaps Donald Trump is too. Our transition into the Aquarian Age, if we are to escape major cataclysm, unfortunately requires much subtlety for the transition. Clear as mud, right? Figuring it out is not easy, despite those who try to make it seem that way. Yeah, the video that I shut off was someone that I've listened to a lot, and I generally like what he has to say, but as soon as he said Russia is our enemy, I shut the video off immediately. I mean, I didn't go any further than that. I mean, I just took the cursor or took the mouse and click, goodbye. And he may have gone on to clarify what he meant by that. But folks, Russia has made tremendous strides, as I see it, according to the prophecies of Edgar Cayce, who said, out of Russia comes the hope of the world. Not out of the US, but out of Russia. If it wasn't for Putin standing in the way, and if it was just up to the Western oligarchy, we would have had major World War III again, and it would not have been a subtle war. It would have been a catastrophe in which millions of people were killed in violent bloodshed. Now, of course, the war is being waged on other levels with chemtrails and poison in our medicines and all sorts of other things to limit humanity's response ability, that is, our ability to respond to things, because we are kept in the dark on purpose. Our minds are dumbed down and our codons are turned off, and we are a limited creation. We have become a limited creation. I'd like to believe that God is taking action to restore our codons and to bring back our natural abilities of discernment that so many seem to have lost in this dumbing down process that has been going on by the elite establishment. As I said in the previous video, there are the 12 apostles. I referred to it as the 12 apostles of the apocalypse, or of the dark forces. Now, I don't think that those 12 individuals alone comprise the entire dark establishment, not at all. But I do believe the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers, for example, have played significant roles in that deception. And it is a great deception. And it's so deceiving that sometimes people like me, when we read things that are very contradictory toward each other, they both seem to make sense because the pundits have done a very good job of presenting a particular viewpoint, even when the particular viewpoint is totally opposed by someone else who is equally adept at presenting their case. Attorneys do that often. A good attorney can get someone pronounced innocent or not guilty because of their way with words and the way that they present themselves and present their case and their client. We know that this is true, and it's true on all levels of human society. There are people that are very, very intelligent as far as use of language and as far as knowing certain things and being able to exercise certain talents, gifts, and abilities, and yet their agenda is not truthful. It's not above board. It's very, very deceptive. We live in a world of deceit. And this should be obvious to anybody that's paying attention. But to put the blame on even to put the blame on the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers is probably an understatement. You know, it's bigger than that. We're dealing with a whole different level of creation. If you believe, as I do, that angels were one level of creation, humans are a completely different level of creation. They are not part of the same creation, even if they were made by the same creator. And for some reason, the creator, the prime creator, allowed the dark forces to take over and subvert humanity so that we could not have the talents, gifts, and abilities and put them to use as they were supposed to be. Why that was allowed continues to be beyond my comprehension. Why a loving God would have even allowed such a thing doesn't make sense. And it perhaps will not make sense until some of the gross wrongs are righted and there is a cleansing of the planet Earth of its demonic influences, so that the dark forces or the fallen angels are, if they don't repent, they are sequestered for as I've been taught, 1,000 years, and then they're let loose again. Now, that doesn't make sense either. If you finally get them sequestered and imprisoned, why let them loose again at all? I don't get it. There are lots of things that are beyond my comprehension. I used to think I was pretty smart. I seemed to be quite intelligent compared to what? Compared to others. I wasn't the brightest bulb in the class. That was Diane Sorensen. But I was in the top group, probably in the top 10 of a class of, 200 to 300 students. In any case, that's all of that I just said is irrelevant. We are living at a time on a planet that is undergoing a lot of change and a lot of transition, and there's a lot of friction between the forces of light and the forces of darkness, if you want to refer to them that way. I don't know what Trump is doing. I'm not sure what Putin is doing, but I hope that a loving God really is making corrections that will liberate humanity, because God knows I want to be free at last and to be able to use my talents, gifts, and abilities to benefit others. Thank you, folks, for listening, and namaste.